Margarita and I were a perfectly happy young couple. In fact, all her friends were jealous of us. Well, look at it this way. We were barely 25, and both of us already occupied interesting and highly paid positions, had an apartment and a summer house, and a couple of times a year allowed themselves a vacation abroad. In general, we lived in our own pleasure. After a couple of years, we decided that it was time to think about a baby. To be honest, I did not see the need to have a child so soon because we had such a bright and rich everyday life. But, my wife insisted. My mother-in-law added oil to the fire, and my mother did not ask, but demanded grandchildren. That's when all hell broke loose. For a year, we tried to get pregnant the traditional way. Nothing worked. Margot practiced various methods to help prepare the body for conception. We spent a long time on all kinds of diets and doing sports. She even started to get into meditation and hung a popular wish card over our bed with a picture of a newborn, saying that visualization works wonders. So after a while, we realized that all our efforts had been in vain. Margot, stop messing around, I cut her off. Let's go to a normal doctor. And we were in a whirlwind of hospital routine. At first, the gynecologist decided that the problem was my wife. She examined her entire reproductive system, but it turned out that everything was working like a Swiss watch. Next, she checked her hormone levels, and it was a bust. The endogenous system also turned out to be fine. Even went to the neurologist, but he also did not see any pathologies. The gynecologist waved her hands and suggested checking the partner. I mean me. We took a bunch of tests and started waiting for the results. One evening, I came home and Margot was crying. Why are you crying? Your tests came back, she replied, wiping her tears with the sleeve of her blouse. You're in trouble, Dennis. Apparently, we're not going to be parents. At this point, I was stunned. 6 months of fruitless attempts had changed our relationship beyond recognition. Margot had become a depressed, unkept woman who no longer cared about anything. It was the first time I'd ever seen her like that. She cried a lot, wore stained manicures and stale clothes. But then her friend Marina came to her. With her, Margot shared our problem. They whispered about something long in the kitchen over a bottle of wine. And then my wife came out to me with hope in her eyes. It was decided to go to the holy places. We took a vacation and made a real pilgrimage. We visited the graves of the saints, laid our hands on miracle-working icons. Then right during the trip, we were recommended a witch doctor who helped childless couples. I didn't think I would stoop to a witch doctor, but Margona was standing, and we ran there too. When we got home, my wife was feeling much better. She didn't look so miserable anymore. She was concerned about her appearance again, made an appointment with a beautician, renewed her closet. Our relationship was back on track. We became the same old happy people. Dennis, Dennis, she shouted, laughing so loudly. I'm pregnant. We called it a real miracle. Well, it was. Whether the saints or the witch doctor had helped, I didn't know. But I was madly happy that my wife was able to conceive and carried our continuation. Isn't that magic? On my day off, I decided to put the bookcases in order, since Margot was working into the evening. I'd been meaning to get to them for a long time, but I'd never gotten around to it. I was moving another book, and some sheets fell out. It turned out to be my tests. I was about to tear it up, but I was confused by the word diagnosis at the end. Margot had said total infertility, but there was a whole list of medical terms and a recommendation to make an appointment. Black doubt crept right into my soul. The same day I went to my doctor without a waiting list, but Margot didn't say a word about it. The doctor was indignant, saying, "Why did I procrastinate so long?" "You're wrong," I parried. "You only know how to siphon money out of people. My wife is already 2 months pregnant." "That can't be." And then he explained that I had serious problems and there was no way Margot could get pregnant by me. I still had chances to become a father, but only after a long treatment, and even then minimal. "Doctor, she's pregnant. I wouldn't give up." "Well then, the father is not you." "Sadly," concluded the one. When Margot came home, I put the tests in front of her. She roared and began her story. "Dennis, I love you more than life, but I couldn't wait for you to heal. It takes years. Plus, there's no telling if the treatment would have helped you or not. Please tell me you did a checkup at the hospital," I pleaded. But no, my wife cheated on me with a coworker. It turned out to be David, who was a well-meaning family man. My wife chose him because David's children were all fit and healthy, and the trips to the holy places were just a cover to make the pregnancy look like a miracle. I honestly tried to understand her, and we even lived together for a while, but I couldn't stay with Margot and someone else's child.